But right now, it is my pleasure to welcome my woman in fashion today, Hellen Tolbert. Hellen, welcome to Double O Direct.
Thank you, Olivia.
You're just phenomenal.
Oh.
I can't believe in less than a day, you managed to custom, make this jacket for me, and it fits perfectly.
A little bird told me that it was your birthday, and I thought, why not do something special, specially for you?
Oh, wow. I'm feeling really special. Between your amazing design and the amazing flowers I've just received from Olga Nata, who's also a June baby, I'm feeling so much love.
You're so
today.
loved.
So tell me, who is Hellen?
Hellen Tolbert is your typical African Kenyan girl, born, bred here in Nairobi, schooled in St. Patrick's Primary School in Eastlands. Went to a school in Nyakach called Dry Girls High School.
I didn't know this whole time that you went there as you're from there, or you just went there because that's where you were taken?
That's where I was taken. Yeah. I'm an island girl. I come from Rusinga Island. So after my primary school education, I landed myself in Dry Girls, one of the best schools in Nyanza. Performed very well. Then later on joined Multimedia University.
Did you get your degree? Did you get? I know it's a personal question. You don't have to answer it, but given the current climate,
you've got to know your schoolmates and make sure they saw you graduating.
You're with the right people. You hung out with the right guys, the guys who are focused and serious. Okay.
So from Multimedia University, I worked at Nairobi Java House as a steward.
Wow.
I cleaned toilets, washed dishes.
No, really?
Yes.
You weren't like the coat check-in girl or the one who just welcomes people like an usher or something?
No. Washed dishes, scrubbed toilets.
Wow, okay.
At Nairobi Java House for a while. Then I was later promoted to a bus girl.
Wow.
Yes. Then after that, went to the post office, worked at the Postal Corporation of Kenya. And that's why I quit to join fashion.
So my question is, what did you study at the Polytechnic?
Yes.
What did you study?
Business administration.
Okay. What is happening where you study business administration and you end up as a steward at Java House? Like, where was the disconnect? Or you were just like, I need a job, whatever job is there, I'm going to take it.
I was like, I need a job. I don't want to be at home. I don't want to just sit by from morning till evening doing nothing. So I was willing to do anything. Straight.
Yes, correct.
to make money in the right way. Yes. And given that I was already washing dishes at home, scrubbing toilets at home, I mean, it wasn't strange. It wasn't something out of the norm.
Yes.
I mean, most young people, when they're from college or when they're from high school, they're looking for white collar jobs and they don't want to they don't want to start from the bottom.
Yes.
For me, I didn't mind starting from the bottom and scaling my way up.
I admire that, and I absolutely love that. So what year was it that you said, okay, I'm done with this, I'm going into fashion?
That was in 2010.
Yes.
2010, 2011. I was working at the post office, and I used to take, during my lunch breaks, I would go out to Kikomba Market, find second-hand clothes, come back, redo them, redesign them, and then sell them to my colleagues and my friends. At some point, I felt like I don't want to divide my time. I don't want to share the time I'm giving to the post office and the time I'm taking to do my passion, to do this. So I thought, why not go into it fully? It was a bit shaky. The future was not so clear. I didn't have a plan written down, but I knew this is what I had to do. So I quit my job to start.
And your label is called Ellen Design.
Yes, it is.
When you left the post office around 2010 and you started, you were getting those clothes from Kikomba Market, you were upscaling them, you were selling them to colleagues. What was that initial 1-2 year period like?
First of all, Olivia, I need to mention that when I started off with 5,000 Kenyan shillings.
5,000?
5,000 Kenyan shillings.
Okay.
It sounds unbelievable.
Yes.
But what I did is I used to go to Kikomba Market, get second-hand clothes, sell them, and some like redesign them, upscale them, and sell them out. I plowed back my profit into the business until it reached a point where now I was able to buy my first sewing machine.
Yes.
And another thing I also need to mention is that my mom was a tailor. It still is a tailor. So growing up, I grew up around fashion, and that's where my love for fashion started from. And everything I know and everything I learned in fashion came from my mom. So it was easier for me to kind of like slide into.
Were you still living at home? Because you'd had a job for now a year or so
No.
after campus. You weren't living at home.
I moved out a few months after working at Java into a 3,000 shillings house because my salary back then was 13,000.
Yes.
So I moved into a 3,000 shillings house in Kariobangi South.
Yes.
So by the time I was at the post office, I was working at the post office. I'd already moved out a long time ago.
I am just so amazed. So it is possible to just put in the hard work and succeed.
Yes, it is.
So the 5,000 shillings, how are you selling these clothes? Where were you meeting these customers?
I was selling back to my colleagues at the post office because they were my first contacts.
Yes.
It was easier to sell to them because they knew me, they understood my passion, they knew what I was able to do. So it was so easy selling back to them. At some point, after I had plowed back enough, I remember going to Kampala to get first-hand clothes. I was so excited about my first trip to Kampala.
So you had to leave Kenya to be able to get first-hand clothes instead of second-hand clothes to sell.
To sell because they were much cheaper there
Yes.
as compared to the market here. And I just thought, why not? Why not try something new, something different? So I went to Kampala, brought first-hand clothes for a while until one time when I was there, I deviated a bit and shopped for fabrics instead of shopping for clothes.
Wow. But wait, had you ever designed your own clothes? Because you were, until then, a fashion entrepreneur. You were not a designer.
No.
You altered clothes. And is this something you were doing yourself? Or you had a tailor to make the alterations?
I had a tailor to make the alterations for me.
Okay.
Yes.
So until that moment, you were not a designer.
No, I was not.
What prompted you to buy fabric instead of clothes?
Have you ever had a plan and then last minute you change your plan? So when I was in Kampala, I was passing by a shop looking for ready to wear clothes to bring back home. And then I see this beautiful printed fabrics and I just fell in love. I remember a friend telling me, Hellen, focus. This
Yes.
is not what we came for.
Yes.
Focus and buy the right things. And I was like, let me just try this. So I came back home, came back home.
Yes.
Asked this tailor that I knew to please make a jacket for me in one of the fabrics. And that's why I love jackets to date, because it was my first item to make as a designer.
Yes.
So I sketched, I do very good sketches. I sketched my first jacket design. And the friend who was telling me not to buy the fabrics
Yes.
was my first client.
No.
She was my first client.
Okay.
She loved the jacket that I made. I had made one for myself. She loved it. She took it. She went to church that Sunday and somebody else liked that jacket and ordered for it.
Wow.
And just like that, my business started.
It was your destiny. So tell me, Ellen_design. Registered?
Yes, registered.
At what point did you do that?
I was a mentee
Yes.
with Akinyi Odongo.
Oh, okay. This is going to be very weird because I walked into work because you and I didn't get to meet until this very morning. So I walked into work in a Akinyi Odongo jacket and now I'm wearing one of her proteges,
You know,
Hellen Tolbert.
You know,
I love it.
I was Akinyi Odongo's mentee at some point, and then my business was not registered. Of course, I was doing things the Kenyeji way.
Yes, of course.
And during one of our meetings, she was like, everybody, for you to be my mentee and for you to be on this platform, you need to register your business.
Yes.
If you don't register within a certain period, then you're out of this group.
Okay.
So we scampered, did everything until all of us were registered. And that's
before it was online, right?
yeah, that is before it was online.
How was that process? Just be honest.
I was a bit rigid
Yes,
at first. I was a bit like, why does she want us to do this? Is it that as long as I can do what I'm doing and I can do it well? But looking back right now, I really thank her for it because I am who I am. Because I'm doing things legally, the right way. I'm registered. I'm comfortable. I don't have to look back at my shoulders. I can export my products with a lot of ease because the processes and the channels are just right.
I'm still with fashion designer Hellen Tolbert, who started out and she confessed washing toilets, scrubbing floors. But you know what? She does have a degree. And now she is, what is your title at Ellen Design?
I'm the CEO,
You're the CEO?
the founder, and the lead designer.
CEO, founder, lead designer, and with her qualifications, she could be governor. Yeah.
Amen.
So what was highlight over the last 10 years, because that's how long after you were, a mentee at Akinyi Odongo. What were some of the highlights, as Ellen designer over the last 10 years?
One of my best highlights, let me start with my best. One of my best highlights is when I dressed Miss Universe Kenya
Wow.
all the way to the US
Wow.
for the finals. Miss Mishuki, 2018, 2019?
Yes.
Yes.
How did you get involved in that project?
The management of Miss Universe Kenya then just contacted me via Instagram, and I didn't doubt it for a minute. Sometimes you get inboxes on Instagram and you go like, is this
Like
for
mine.
real? Yes. Is this for real?
Yeah.
I didn't doubt it for a minute, jumped right into it. And that is one of the biggest stages I think my design has ever been on. I mean, being rated alongside mature designers from China, designers from all over the world.
And they're the top designers from those countries, aren't they?
Yes, they're the top designers. And I remember my design featuring on the top 10 designs.
Wow.
It was such a huge moment for me.
I love that. I absolutely love it. Anybody you admire with regards to design and fashion? Let's start internationally and then we'll bring it local.
Internationally, I've always admired, where is this name going to right now? Let me start with locally.
Okay.
As I get the name.
Sure.
Locally,
Yes.
I look up to Akinyi Odongo Kenya. I have male designers that I look up to
Yes.
because of their level of excellence. I have
Name them.
Sunny Ashok.
Yes.
I just admire his level of commitment, his level of, if you look at his cuts, it's everything. The reason why I admire him so much is because I do jackets.
Yes.
Jackets is one of my strongest passions, and the way he does his male jackets, the structuring.
Yes.
After this, go look at his work. You'll be amazed.
I definitely will. Will. Moving out of our Kenyan borders, maybe into East African countries or across Africa?
I have Style Temple from Nigeria.
Yes.
She's international. She's very diverse, not necessarily the African designs. She's very diverse, and I love that about her.
Awesome. So where do you export to? You said that now that Unalipanga Ushuru is registered, you can export your garments. To where do they go?
I've exported to the UK. My biggest market right now in terms of export is the UK. I have a UK brand that I've been working hand in hand with, and so far so good.
Excellent. What about those low moments? Because it's not always been, a walk in the park. What are some of the trials you've had over the last 10 years?
Wow, there are many. You see, just the same way tailors let you down is the same way we get let down by them. Mm-hmm. The structuring and the alignment in the industry is very tricky.
Is there a Tailors Association of Kenya?
I wish there was.
Can we start the Tailors Association?
We should. I mean, they need to learn some work ethics and things like that, because they wake up in the morning and somebody decides, hey, I'm not coming to work.
Yes,
and
I've
there's
had
nothing
that
you can do about it.
So other than the fact that tailors are unreliable, what have been some other stumbling blocks along the way?
Trying to learn new tricks in the market. The fashion industry is very diverse, and it fluctuates. Like by the minute. 1 minute you wake up and a retro style is back into the market, something that was done back in the 30s, back in the 90s, and you have to learn old tricks.
Yes.
And there are times that you have to learn new tricks, so you have to be upbeat, up on your feet, running all the time.
So tell me, on Instagram, it is Ellen_design_.
Yeah.
That's where you need to go to have a look at all her wear. Tell me about this jacket in particular, because firstly, it fits like a glove. And you said it's reversible?
It's reversible. You can wear it from both sides. You guys, Olivia called me yesterday and I had to quickly go on her Instagram to see her size. She told me she was a size 10 UK, but again, with sizes, sometimes you miss on the shoulders.
I was an 8 until my birthday, and then it went to a 10.
A lot of cake, right?
Too much, yeah.
So I had to go to your Instagram page, look at you, check you out, and I realized I don't have anything that would fit you to the T on my racks. So immediately immediately this jacket was, you made the call at around 4?
Yes.
This jacket was made from 5 p.m.
No.
especially for you.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing that it's your birthday season.
Yes, so you forgive me. So tell me about the
forgiven.
fabrics. Tell me about the labor that goes into it. And then, of course, if you want to talk about price as well.
This fabric is custom made in Kenya.
Yes.
Now that you're into Kenya, buy made in Kenya, wear made in Kenya.
Yes.
I produce some of my custom fabrics locally.
So the woven part?
The woven part is
Yes.
woven here in Kenya.
Yes.
They're a very reputable company. I'm not
Yes.
going to mention
You don't
them.
have to mention, but yes, they're
I
woven
don't have
here.
to. They're woven here in Kenya. So it makes me feel like, I'm part and parcel. When you say made in Kenya,
Yes.
it's right from the roots.
Okay.
So the inner part is African print.
Yes.
And the outer side is woven, woven fabric made just for me.
So made locally, or you have somebody outside that does the pattern work and sends it to you?
No, everything is done locally.
Oh, wow.
Like the pattern was done by a student here.
Yes.
And then it was woven here in
Yes.
Kenya.
Yes.
So everything is done locally.
Why reversible?
Reversible, because many a times jackets are very diverse. Like many a times, if you own a black jacket, you know the story. You wear it today, especially during the cold season that we're going into.
Yes.
And then the next day you wake up and you're like, I'm out of jackets. And
Yes.
my black jacket will still do. So many a times you have to repeat your jacket. So I thought if it's reversible, then you can get to wear it more than
Once.
once.
I agree. I completely
And look
agree.
different and chic.
A woman that uplifted, inspired, or motivated you this week. My guest, Hellen Tolbert, told me, Olivia, for me, it's Nessie Mukiri. Nessie Mukiri offered me the space that is currently housing my first ready-to-wear shop. I was like, wow, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? A friend in need, right? A friend indeed as well, right? Okay, and apparently, Hellen Tolbert, Ellen Design, the first ready-to-wear shop is located at Empire Arcade along Kiambu Road. Empire Arcade, Kiambu Road, that's where you're going to find Ellen Design. I had the CEO, founder, and lead designer with me this morning. She's actually responsible for this amazing coat, right? So as you send in those questions to Rally Driver Maxine Wahome, SpiceFM KE, check out the posts, check out the coat, right? But with regards to inspiration, motivation, make sure you tell that woman who brought that positivity into your life just how special they are.